We've got some details. You know, the county of LA has a ban on trick-or-treating, but that ban was lifted. But the question, is it safe?
Right.
Speaking with a doctor.
A lot of people want to know that. So from cleaning your candy to masks and costumes, we're going to break down what you need to know to safely celebrate this Halloween.
You have a favorite candy for trick-or-treating?
Almond Joy.
Almond Joy.
M&M's.
When someone says they like Almond Joy.
Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Right. A cocoa nut. Okay. Does that work? Because it's Coke? Okay.
Got
Anyway, LA County has lifted the ban on trick-or-treating, but now they're discouraging the practice, but not prohibiting it. So I don't know why. Regardless of why they're doing it, we've got some questions to ask. How can you celebrate Halloween safely?
So joining us live to discuss the COVID-safe do's and don'ts is physician Gregory Charlop. Thank you so much for being here, sir. We appreciate it.
I guess he skipped breakfast.
Thanks for having me on. You know, I have to save room for all the candy.
Yeah, right. So it's a little bit tricky to get kids to stay 6 feet apart, you know, to follow all the rules, to keep their mask on, and their mask might not go with their costume, all of those things. How are we going to navigate this?
Well, thanks for having me on. And I just have to tell you, you know, even as an adult, Halloween is one of my favorite holidays. I love it. You know, I look forward to it every year. And, you know, I really think it's important that we save it this year. And kids have suffered through so much, and they're not going to school, and they're not having play dates and everything else. And I think if we could save Halloween, we should. And I believe that you can safely do trick-or-treating. The trick to it is, if you'll pardon the pun, the trick to it is that you want to try to keep your kids, if you can, 6 feet from other kids. I know this isn't so easy, and I have my own kids, the play dates, they don't stay too far apart, but do your best. The main thing is they shouldn't share costumes, they shouldn't share goodie bags, they should have their own things. And everything should be outdoors. Being outdoors is really important to this. When you're outdoors, you've got the wind and the sun and everything else, and it makes the whole process much safer. Now, people talk about the candy, you know, and you were talking about that. And I believe also you can eat the candy, but there's a trick to that too. Either when they have the goodie bags and they come home, either throw the candy away and get them something else. You know, you don't want to just steal their candy. You don't want to leave them empty-handed. Or let the candy sit for 4 days. Now, we think that coronavirus is mostly spread through the air, you know, someone coughing or sneezing or breathing hard by you. It's not so much spread by surfaces, but it probably can be. And so with time, the coronavirus, it dies, it goes away from the surface. And so even if someone with coronavirus put some candy in your kid's bag, if you wait 4 days, it's almost certainly safe to eat.
Well, so doctor, wouldn't you recommend, why don't we just take like medical wipes? Like when I go to a grocery store, and we buy everything, we take it out of the bag, we wipe it down with some medical wipes, and then it's good to go. Can't we just do that?
I mean, you can, but honestly, I wouldn't. And the reason is, you know, it'd be hard to get all the little folds and creases of those candy wrappers. And also the wipes you use, they have a lot of chemicals and poisonous stuff in it. So, I mean, I guess if you're in a pinch and your kids are desperate to eat something, you could, but I think you'd be better off either just replacing it or waiting 4 days, and then it'll be good as new.
Doc, I got to tell you, if I had to go trick-or-treating and then wait 4 days to eat the candy, that's 2020 in a nutshell right there.
Right.
That just explains 2020. It was so great, and then I had to wait 4 days.
Right there. Let's talk again about the masks and the costumes. How are people going to, you know, deal with that as well? Like, this is really cute. We're looking at a picture where you incorporate the mask into your costume.
So you stole my thunder on this one. So I was going to say, yes, you definitely want to wear masks, and you want to use the surgical type masks if you can. So these blue masks, of course, I had to show off my own kid's mask. This is like a witch here, and this one is like a little graveyard scene. And so these blue masks are very effective. They actually help protect you. They help protect other people. They're good. They're much better than like a cloth mask, like a bandana. So I would recommend use that, let your kids decorate it, have fun with it, make it part of the Halloween experience. If you have to use a cloth mask, because you don't have these blue surgical masks, and you have to use a bandana, that's fine, but I would layer it. It turns out that they just don't work that well, but if you put like 3 layers on, then it's much more effective. So even if you're out there and you've got like your gorilla costume or your goblin costume on and it covers your face, you still underneath that want to have your mask to protect your mouth and your nose.
Okay, so I'm guessing we're probably not going to do this because of COVID, but maybe some folks are going to find like a hayride or a pumpkin patch out there. Those are outside. You said there's wind outside and there's sun outside that might be able to kill the coronavirus. But I don't know, if you're not really doing it alone, would you recommend doing those things?
So I love hay rides. They're great. You know, I like farms and outdoors and everything. But I think it's a bad idea this year. That I'm going to recommend against, even though I think trick or treating is good. And the problem is, you've got too many people together. They're all near each other. They're all touching the same things. Everybody's breathing on each other. It's just a mistake. Hay rides, pumpkin patches, I would not do. So instead, I would do things that are safe, but also just as fun. So you've got the trick or treating. You could do a costume contest. Get your kids lined up, the neighborhood kids, and everybody goes in a row and do a costume contest. You can do a parade in cars with your costumes on. Or you could even do, this is one of my favorites, you do a movie night under the stars. You know, pick your favorite scary movie and project it onto your wall outside. You have fun, you're outdoors, everything, but you're not risking getting anybody sick. So
Right.
I would skip the hay rides.
Got it. All right. For more from Dr. Charlop, you can visit GregoryCharlopMD.com. Thank you so much for joining us. All right, don't go away. We're going to be right back.